And we're back with Rings of Power, this time Season 2, Episode 2. Yep, we're carrying on with Rings of Power now. It's been a few weeks since I recorded last episode, but you know what? Oh, I've got 3 days left of my time off work. I'm going to use all of them to try and record all of this show, because the whole show has come out now. It's all done, so thankfully I've not been spoiled on anything, so yeah, I'm just going to try and finish off this season this weekend. So yeah, last episode we had a flashback to the dawn of the Second Age when Sauron was betrayed by Adar, how he came into the form that we knew as Halbrand, when he came into the form of Halbrand, up to the point where he met Galadriel. We got all that in the flashback, and then we got him like going to Mordor, making a deal with Adar, saying that he knows Sauron is with the elves and he's going to try and root him out. So he's playing both sides, and now he's gone back to Celebrimbor to, obviously, it's going to be forming the rings. So he's definitely playing both sides, and he's doing it very well, I might add. Meanwhile, Elrond was an absolute G last episode, trying to get rid of the rings, giving them to the oldest elf that I've ever seen. I've never seen an elf look old, but Círdan, or Círdan, I think it was. So yeah, he asked Círdan to destroy the rings. Círdan went to do it, but then he saw them, and then he got tempted, and now he's taken them back to Gil-galad, and now Círdan, Gil-galad and Galadriel are all wearing the 3 rings of the elves. And Nori and the stranger got caught up to by Poppy. I didn't expect Poppy to show up, and she immediately just made herself very useful by helping them find where they were supposed to be going. But they are being followed by someone. They are being followed by a few people with awesome looking masks. And so we've got to find out what's going on here. We didn't see any. I can see the thumbnail. I can see the thumbnail of this episode. It's got Durin, and I can't remember her name, his wife, but it's got them in it. So it's good that we're going to be going back to Khazad-dûm, finding out what's going on there. So yeah, let's just find out what's going to go on. This is a Patreon exclusive show, but the review will be coming. If you're watching on this on YouTube, this is a review, so you'll be getting my immediate after episode review of this episode. But if you're on Patreon, you'll be watching the full length. And let's just get into the Season 2, Episode 2 reaction of Rings of Power, starting right now. Okay, so since Rings of Power is unfortunately a Patreon exclusive series, there will be no reaction this video. Instead, you'll be getting the after episode review. But for any of you who want a slight glimpse into what you're missing over on the Patreon, here's a few clips.
Oh God. Oh!
Amazon Prime Video Player is crap, where it orders you to update something just because they can't sort their shit out. Oh, the messengers. He killed them before they could get to Celebrimbor. You again. So weird to see deserts in Middle-earth. Okay, so back to the video. Oh, okay. Now this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. If I'm going to rank this, I'm going to put this episode above the last one, because I did think we progressed the story quite nicely. Beginning, the darkness coming to Khazad-dûm is very nice, where apparently the eruption of Mount Doom has caused earthquakes, which has then made the light tunnels of Khazad-dûm cave in. So now they have no light, their kingdom's fallen apart. And so we've already established that Mithril can Thor can like bring life back to plants. I don't know how that works, but it can. So it brings life back to the plants, and so that is going to force the dwarves to consider the idea of wearing the rings, because Sauron's plan, well, Sauron and Adar have forced this thing to happen where it actually, like these species, like the elves need the rings, the dwarves will need the rings. We've still yet to see why the men will need the rings, but I'm sure Sauron has a plan. He always does. We're seeing it. We're seeing it come to pass here. Yeah. I'll try and go through every storyline as it goes. So, since we started with the Khazad-dûm stuff, we'll continue with the dwarf stuff. We've basically got a father-son feud going on, and yeah, Durin's stubbornness. He won't let anyone leave the kingdom. Apparently, like he won't let people go to the surface to pick up food. He won't deal with anyone else. He feels that all they need is themselves, but that's obviously not working. And that is, I assume, that's why Durin, the Prince Durin, got the message of an invitation from Celebrimbor, because he's more likely to do it than the king is. The Stone Singers, or whatever they're called, they can't connect with the mountain anymore. They can't find out where it's safe to mine. And so now the dwarves are having to dig down, and they have no idea if it's safe or not. So that's always been something the dwarves have prided themselves on, of being able to mine completely safe without risk of injuring each other or injuring themselves. But now that ability has been lost because of what has happened. Like, I love that we're seeing the events start to build up, and we're seeing reasons why the dwarves will need these rings, and they will. Durin, the Prince Durin. This is going to be very awkward to have to keep going. You have to specify between king and prince. Prince Durin he's not getting a lot of respect. Well, former Prince Durin, should we say? He's not getting a lot of respect from the other dwarves, considering he's capable of doing the work, but obviously not to the point where the other dwarves have. And now he's been brought low to these other dwarves, and they're making fun of him because he's not used to this labour that they put themselves through every day. And naturally, former Prince Durin is going to have to find a way to make himself notable again in his father's eyes and in the eyes of the people as well. So yeah, all this is just feeding off people's need to prove themselves and their need to provide for their people as well. It's getting very difficult, isn't it, for everyone? And once again, we're 2 episodes in, no Bronwyn, no Arondir, Theo, Elendil, Isildur, or any of what was it, Numenor? We haven't seen any of Numenor either. We're 2 episodes in, we still haven't seen a lot of people. It shows how broad the cast and the characters are in this show. That it feels like we're spending a decent amount of time with each story, and yet we're not getting enough. But yet we've got what on the go right now. We've got the Anatar and Celebrimbor story. We've got the Galadriel and Elrond story now. The Khazad-dûm story, the Stranger and the Harfoot story. Like, that's 4 stories we've got on the go, and yet it still doesn't. And yet we've still not explored some things and some characters. So I like this. This feels like Lord of the Rings, where you're jumping back and forth between every group's stories. And we'll go with the half-fun stranger story now. We've learned that these people who are following them are hunters and scouts for this dark wizard who was responsible for the acolytes last season. Not Star Wars acolytes, the acolytes who were hunting the stranger last season. In fact, we got one of them back here, so it's obvious that she didn't die. I mean, are these people even capable of dying? If that's... They're not mortal, obviously, so are they even capable of dying at all? Yeah, so we've got this dark wizard. Where does he come from? Because I thought there was only supposed to be 5 wizards. Is that somehow Saruman and Gandalf? I mean, I'm still on the fence whether or not the stranger is Gandalf or Saruman, but I'm going to go with Gandalf right now because it makes more sense for it to be Gandalf. I'm assuming Gandalf maybe changes this dark wizard back to Saruman, maybe? Otherwise, why is this wizard here? Because there's not supposed to be another wizard. I don't know. And he's searching for his staff, his way of focusing his power, because obviously just in this episode he caused a massive tornado, and it's obvious that Nora and Poppy aren't dead. The stranger is going to think so, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Nora and Poppy for a few episodes, just to try and drive the stranger's story forward. But yeah, he's obviously clearly in need of a new staff, which he's got to find at some point around here. And we'll toy with the idea of giving him a name as well. So Nori said he's looking for a Gand. So I imagine he's going to get his name. He's obviously going to get his name derived from that. At what point does he go to grey instead of the brown he usually wears? There is also the Elrond and Galadriel stuff. It's hard. Like I said, it's always hard to root for Galadriel because it feels like she does not learn her lesson. It's like she knows she's been deceived by him before, and she thinks that just because she's been deceived by him and she found out that he was lying, that makes her immune to his powers. It doesn't. Like, it's clear that she just can't get her mind off the fact that she was royally fucked over by him, and she wants to make it right, and she wants to avenge her brother, but it's blinding her to the risks. And Gil-galad made the excellent decision that if you want to go, you won't be going alone. You'll have to take Elrond with you. And I love Elrond is my guy in this show. Elrond is my guy because he said exactly what I've been thinking. He's like, you can't trust these rings at all, because I know that in the original Lord of the Rings lore that the 3 rings are kind of separate from Sauron's power, but the way that it's been done has like left me thinking, like, because obviously they've had no problem with like deviating a little bit from the original lore as of yet. I mean, the original Lord of the Rings films deviated from the lore quite a bit as well. So it's obvious that Lord of the Rings media can lead away from the original writings a little bit, so that's making me think, can these rings really be trusted? I mean, we know they still have those rings during the time of Lord of the Rings, but will something happen between now and then that makes the rings safe to use? Or is this all a point of like Sauron is like making them doubt themselves to not use the rings? And I love that I cannot tell the difference, because it's really given me doubt whether or not I can trust those rings. So I'm going to err on the side of caution right now and say no. But obviously the other elves besides Elrond are not going to do so. And can I just say the deepest, most tragic thing that this show has ever done was shave Círdan's beard. How fucking dare you shave that man's beard? It was fucking glorious last episode. Like I'm not homosexual, but god damn did that man he stirred feelings within me. I'm gonna say that. Jesus, that elf was handsome last episode. Not so much anymore. It's amazing what a beard can do for someone. So, off that now. Elrond has decided that, yeah, I'm not going to be going under the command of I'm not going to be going under the command of Galadriel. She's going to do what I fucking say. Thankfully, Gil-galad agrees. And I imagine that unfortunately Galadriel is only going to get more annoying as this season progresses, because she's going to have to constantly disobey Elrond. And right now Elrond seems to be the only one who's making true sense to me. And I love that Elrond said exactly what I thought I was thinking. Like, he was, like, Galadriel was saying, like, basically she was saying, he's not in my head anymore. He's out of my head, and Elrond basically said exactly what I said just before. He never left your head. He's there rent free in your head, and you can't shake it, even though you want to. So, yeah. So now Elrond is going to be, well, Galadriel is going to have to take orders from Elrond, and I love it. Go fuck yourself, Galadriel. And the other story, the Celebrimbor and Halbrand Sauron Anatar story. Which name do I call him by? He said at the end of last season that he's had many names. He's already been called 3 in this show. Yeah. I just love how how the actor who plays Sauron is so good. I really like his performance. He's capable of, like, showing weakness even though he doesn't have any. And, like, clearly when that messenger elf saw the scars on his back, she felt a bit sorry for him. And he intentionally made her see that, even though it's like he's trying to appear strong, and he shows a little bit of weakness on him, and that makes her feel sorry for him. But he wants her to know that. He wants her to feel that. And then once again spinning the lies, saying that, because Galadriel really should have told Celebrimbor last season that he was Sauron. But she didn't, and he has used that to, like, say, because last season she only said that he's not who he claimed to be. That's all she said. And he used that here, saying, like, yeah, I'm not who I claim to be. I'm an angel here to grant you all gifts. A messenger from God, should we say. One of the Valar. I believe that's what the phrase is. Like, basically what Morgoth, the good version of Morgoth, because I know that in my research of the First Age, it's not that extensive, but basically there was a bunch of angels that came from God, the God of Middle-earth. Basically there was a bunch of angels, and Morgoth was the only one who really, like, wanted power for himself. So Sauron is pretending to be one of those angels, saying that he's a sharer of gifts. And then he shows a little bit of his power, and he appears in this angelic form to try and persuade Celebrimbor. Obviously he does. And then he said the line, it's like that fucking moment in Family Guy, like, the Lord of the Rings, he said it. So, yeah, he's obviously convinced Celebrimbor, and a smart move by him, he killed the elven messengers that were going to tell Celebrimbor that he was Sauron. So smart move by him, he killed those messengers, and he's just playing everyone, like, saying how, yes, I'm not who I said I was. I'm in fact an angel, a sharer of gifts. And when Galadriel found out I wasn't who I pretended to be, she cast me out. And he gave Celebrimbor exactly what he wanted. He gave him confirmation that the rings did work. They've achieved what Celebrimbor wanted them to achieve, and now he's saying we need to make more rings. And he's made the situation in Khazad-dûm essential for the dwarves to have them. And like I said before, he's going to make it look like he's going to make a situation where the men need them as well. I'm very curious who the 9 Rings of Men are going to go to. I'm very curious because as a Lord of the Rings fan since I was a child, I loved the Black Riders. I thought they were so cool. So to see their origin come up in this show, I assume at least we're going to get a hint as to who the 9 are, who some of the 9 are in this very season, and I am so excited to find out who. Because we've only got a handful of mortal characters who are part of the race of men. I know Elendil is not going to be one of them, and I know Isildur is not going to be one of them. So we're left with a bunch of mortal characters who could become part of the 9. I have an idea about who one of them could be, and that is Isildur's friend, because the one who became a lieutenant last season. I assume he might become one of them because it's very strange to give him as much screen time as he's had. I mean, I know we've not seen him all this season, but we gave him quite a bit of screen time last season. So I assume he's going to become one of them. I also assume that Theo might be involved at some point as well with them. But other than that, I don't know anymore. Because I would say Ronde, but I know that they're meant to go to humans. So Theo and Isildur's friend, I can't remember his name at the moment. Those are my 2 so far. Those are 2 of the 9 who I'm predicting. So yeah, that's all I've got for right now. I'm going to try and watch episode 3 and 4 tonight as well. But my camera overheated, that's why I had to cut at one point towards the end. So hopefully I can avoid that happening again. But yeah, that is all we've got for this episode of Rings of Power. Until next time, we are over and out. Bye!